Good evening, hello and welcome. You're with the news today, your primetime destination. News, newsmakers, talking points. The big talking point, countdown to Chandrayaan. 3 landing billion cheers for ISRO's heroes. The countdown has begun for India's moon mission. Also, our political face-off. Is Rahul Gandhi getting under the skin of the BJP with his attack on them? Also, the top Delhi Babu accused of raping a minor. What is the Delhi Commission of Women going to do about it? All that and more, but as always first, the 9 headlines at 9. Chandrayaan 3 releases new images of the moon's surface. Countdown begins to Vikram lander's descent. Landing module makes contact with Chandrayaan 2 orbiter. Landing scheduled for Wednesday. External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar brands Congress MP Rahul Gandhi a liar. This after Mr. Gandhi alleged Modi's no land ceded claim was false. Says India's land grabbed by China. Locals worried. Delhi police nab an alleged rape accused Delhi bureaucrat under charges of POCSO. Wife arrested for aiding the bureaucrat. India Today reportage forces the police to act. Tamil Nadu and Karnataka spar over Kaveri water. BJP and JDS stage a protest in Mandya against the Siddaramaiah government for releasing water to Tamil Nadu. State of war, Telangana heats up. BRS announces candidates for 115 seats in Telangana. K. Chandrasekhar Rao to contest from 2 seats. National Education Policy Nataka escalates in Karnataka. Siddaramaiah government chairs a meet with Education Minister. D.K. Shivkumar says government will scrap the new education policy, bring a new policy next year. Big ICMR clarification over COVID vaccine side effects, says vaccination protected hospitalized COVID patients. 3-day BRICS summit begins tomorrow in South Africa. Chinese President Xi Jinping and Prime Minister Modi likely to chair a bilateral meet. Squad for the Asia Cup 2023 announced. KL Rahul, Shreyas Iyer return after injury. Tilak Varma gets a call-up for the tournament. But let's start with the good news today, because the countdown to Chandrayaan 3's landing has begun. Less than 48 hours to go now. Chandrayaan 3 to complete the final lap within the next 45 hours. 6 p.m. around 6 p.m. on 6:04 to be exact on Wednesday. The landing will begin from 5:20 p.m. and the landing on the moon to be completed in about 44 minutes. So all eyes now on the skies and what happens in the next 48 hours. Lots of excitement meanwhile at ISRO as the final countdown to Chandrayaan 3's landing begins. The lander module has established contact with the orbiter. The Vikram lander, inching closer to the moon, will begin a powered descent on the 23rd. ISRO has made some changes to ensure that this time the landing is a success. India Today is tracking Chandrayaan 3's journey live. Here's the very latest.
The Indian Space Research Organization has successfully reduced the orbit of the Chandrayaan 3 mission's lander module Vikram on Sunday. Vikram is on its own journey towards the lunar surface now. Equipped with 4 landing legs and 4 landing thrusters of 800 newtons of force each, Vikram is designed for a soft landing on the moon. It carries within it a rover named Pragyan. Chandrayaan 3 is largely a replica of its predecessor Chandrayaan 2. Chandrayaan 2 was launched in July 2019 in the form of an orbiter and a lander Vikram bearing a rover Pragyan. Vikram entered into orbit around the moon, but the surface mission failed in September 2019. The lander Vikram crashed instead of executing a slow descent. ISRO later identified a problem. Based on it this time, ISRO has strengthened the lander's legs, lowered its minimum thrust, enhanced the availability of power, and upgraded the landing sequence to a soft landing. The Vikram lander is currently traveling at about 25 kilometers above the lunar surface at a speed of 6,000 kilometers per hour. From this, it needs to come down to a speed of 1 meter per second within seconds. It then further needs to make a sharp 90-degree turn as it starts moving away from its orbit. ISRO will need to make some major adjustments at very quick, almost breakneck speeds. To achieve a successful landing, Chandrayaan 3 has lander hazard detection and avoidance cameras that will be used to coordinate with the orbiter and mission control as the lander makes its careful descent approach to the surface of the moon. Vikram, the lander module, also carries Laser Retroreflector Array or LRA. It would carry out a passive experiment to understand the dynamics of the moon system. Once the soft landing is achieved, the rover Pragyan will be deployed on the lunar surface on the South Pole to carry out its own research to find evidence of water molecules.
So we are going to measure it for the first time. What is the kind of profile that will be existing? So you have a probe that will be inserted into the lunar regolith. We will penetrate up to around 10 centimeter for probing. Actually 14 centimeter including the tip. The tip will be actually aiding us to penetrate. So 10 centimeter of the lunar surface will be probe. Temperature will be measured, and basically it will give you the conductivity. This regolith can be a building block for future space bases, lunar bases.
Chandrayaan 3 is the third installment of the Chandrayaan series and represents India's second attempt to achieve a soft landing on the moon's surface. So far, only 3 countries have successfully landed spacecraft on the airless lunar world. Failure of the recent Russian moon mission has put the limelight back on India's Chandrayaan 3.
And joining me now is Dr. Amitava Ghosh, space scientist, former Mars exploration rover mission from NASA. Appreciate your joining us, Dr. Ghosh. The next 45 hours, are they now the critical hours, or do you believe that all is well and we should be at this time on Wednesday celebrating?
Well, it is very hard to say. If you look at my career, I have seen so many ups and downs. Mm-hmm. So the first mission that I witnessed was a failure. The second was a success. The third was a success. The fourth was a failure. The fifth was a failure. The sixth onwards was a success. See, this is an engineering mission. Mm-hmm. There are failure points, and it is very hard to predict. Mm-hmm. You know, if you look at Luna 25, mm-hmm. the Russians were best at this game. They were into space before the Americans were. If you remember 1961 Sputnik, they had the capability. No, they had a rover which would explore the moon for 1 year. Why significant? Because they would survive the lunar night. They did not succeed. You know, nothing is guaranteed. All we know is no matter what happens, life will go on. And
but is this Dr. Ghosh, the most in a way, the most complex maneuver, this last stretch, is that the most complex, or are most of the difficult maneuvers over?
No, this is the most complex. So imagine the hazard avoidance cameras or the ground detection camera, they detect the ground, but they miscalculate by even 10 meters or 100 meters. So what will happen? It will slow down, assuming that the ground is here, but the ground is actually here. So at this point, the velocity would be near zero, and then it would again accelerate. Mm-hmm. Then there may be rocks wherever it's trying to land. So there are possibilities, you know, we have encountered in our Mars missions mm-hmm. that, you know, this is the toughest part. We call it the 7 minutes of terror for a Mars mission. So this is really the hardest part.
You know, there are those, of course, who are saying that Chandrayaan 3 incorporates what is being called the salvage mode, which will ensure a successful event in case of unforeseen circumstances. So just give us a sense of what are these unforeseen circumstances? You mentioned one just now, but what, according to you, are those unforeseen circumstances, and how confident should we be that we now are in a better place than we were with Chandrayaan 2?
So I'm not in the mission team, so I wouldn't be able to tell you a lot, but I'll tell you what are the general failure points. See, so these are four legs, right? What if it doesn't land on the four legs? What if there is a damage of a leg? What if there is a rock and it lands and it is kind of tilted? What if it really did not, the retro rockets did not kick in at the right time? So there are multiple things, but I think based on what happened to Chandrayaan-2, I think ISRO and the chairman and everybody has come and repeatedly assured that, the engineering is perfect now. So I would expect a successful landing.
In that sense, in that sense, could this be a coming of age moment? The fact is that four nations of India will be the fourth nation after the US, Russia, and China to do this.
Yes.
This really is, we are on the cusp of history.
Yes. The reason why this is so important, it is not about Chandrayaan-3. It is about delivering this capability to land on another planet or another moon. That is really the crux. If you do this, maybe the next step would be landing on Mars. Maybe the next step would be landing on an asteroid. Maybe it might be going back to the moon. Maybe it might be going to Venus. So it just opens up a lot of possibilities. It's a development of capability, which is so fascinating about the mission.
Just a concluding word. ISRO scientists at the moment aren't opening themselves up to the media. They must be predictably nervous, and we're wishing them well and hoping everything goes on smoothly. But as someone who's dealt with these missions, success and failure, give us a sense of what this means for the scientists who will be there at the moment, watching every little move of what is happening in this last stretch.
It is very hard. So, you have to really steel yourself. As I told you, in my life, I've seen 3 failures. And, everything that you worked for is destroyed. So you have to be very strong mentally. And then you have to think that, well, no matter what, tomorrow life is going to go on. Even if it's a success, there'll be huge euphoria. When Mars Pathfinder landed, we did not know what to do with the time. There were so many people interested in the mission. But when the Mars Climate Orbiter died, then everybody said, well, what are you guys doing? So, you have to balance and you have to think as a scientist, your life will go on, your venture will go on. This is just another step. Tomorrow everything will be okay, no matter what happens.
Well, we hope that tomorrow will be great. Day after tomorrow will be even better. This could be 48 hours, 45 hours when India's remarkable space scientists are about to script a slice of history. Dr. Ghosh, for giving us a bit of your inside track on what it means these last 48 hours. I appreciate you joining me there. Thank you so much.
Absolutely, a pleasure.
Okay, let's turn from what's happening in space to what's happening here on Mother Earth, where predictably there's politics. This time, politics over Congress leader Rahul Gandhi's latest visit to Ladakh and his claims there that China has illegally occupied India's grazing land and India isn't doing enough. That statement has led to an escalating war of words. The BJP slamming Mr. Gandhi, claiming he was allegedly making false claims, misleading the country. Other political parties, including Shiv Sena, demanding that the Modi government put a clear picture before the country. Just why are these remarks that Rahul Gandhi makes always getting into some kind of a political controversy? Is he getting under the skin of the BJP, or is he simply shooting off from the hip? Take a look at this report.
Congress leader Rahul Gandhi on Ladakh visit has raked up China issue to attack Modi government. Rahul questioned the issue of border security. He accused Prime Minister Modi of making false claims about China not occupying Indian territory. Rahul quoted claims by locals about Chinese menace.
Over here the concern is of course the land that has been taken away by China, and people here have been affected by it in a big way because their grazing lands have been taken away, and also lack of connectivity here, cellular connectivity. So.
Congress and allies were quick to back Rahul Gandhi.
पूरा देश बोल रहा है, लेकिन प्रधानमंत्री को चीन को बचाना है. प्रधानमंत्री चीन को सर्टिफिकेट देना चाहते हैं. क्या मजबूरी है हमें नहीं मालूम. पूरा विश्व हैरान है कि प्रधानमंत्री किस तरह से चीन की ढाल बनकर खड़े हुए।
राहुल जी ने बात कही है कि चाइना ने अपनी जमीन कब्जे में लिया है, तो उसके ऊपर प्रधानमंत्री हो या डिफेंस मिनिस्टर हो, कोई लोगों को गुमराह करने की जरूरत नहीं है, सच बताइए।
The government countered Rahul Gandhi's claim and said that Nehru government was chanting India Chini Bhai Bhai while China was usurping Indian land.
जिस कांग्रेस पार्टी ने हिंदी चीन भाई भाई का माला जप के 45,000 स्क्वायर किलोमीटर भारत माता की धरती को चीन को दे दिया, अपने गिरेबान में झांके।
External Affairs Minister Jay Shankar termed Rahul a habitual liar.
सर, राहुल गांधी ने सवाल उठाया चाइना को लेकर के, किस तरीके से?
देखिए, वो तो राहुल गांधी की पुरानी आदत है, इसमें क्या नहीं।
The BJP, which earlier mocked Rahul Gandhi's bike trip as advertisement of Modi government's road infra project in Ladakh, was quick to hit back.
Mr. Rahul Gandhi, why is it that whenever you visit the border areas, you say something, you offer a propaganda to China against India?
The political war comes ahead of Chinese President Xi Jinping's likely sharing of stage with Prime Minister Narendra Modi at the BRICS summit in South Africa. With Ashraf Wani in Ladakh, Bureau Report, India Today.
Let's raise the big question. Is Rahul Gandhi getting under the skin of the BJP with these remarks? Should issues of national security become part of public debate in this manner? Will the Modi government come clean on border issues? These are some of the questions we'll raise. I'm joined on my political face-off today by Nalin Kohli of the BJP, Salman Soz of the Congress Party, and by Lieutenant General Sanjay Kulkarni, retired former Chief of Staff, 14 Corps and DG Infantry. I appreciate all of you joining us. Nalin Kohli, why is the BJP so het up every time Rahul Gandhi makes these remarks? Do you believe that he's lying? Or do you believe that he's attempting to get national security into the public debate, which you believe should be discussed behind four walls? I mean, the claim he's making is that the Modi government is lying when they say not a single inch of land has been ceded to the Chinese post-Galwan.
Actually, I don't, Rajdeep, agree with either of your assessments. The reason why we are responding is because Mr. Rahul Gandhi, in at least my opinion, has tried to deflect the attention of the nation from the fact that he was taking a vacation on a bike trip, as the media reported, and then he was seen driving on excellent infrastructure in Ladakh, which was not the case in 2012, and which Kiran Rijiju, our minister, quite rightly and effectively put out there in a tweet. He showed the images of 2012, how it used to be a struggle to travel on crumbling infrastructure in Ladakh, versus now Mr. Rahul Gandhi, looking very smart on a mobile, travelling on a beautiful, clean, blacktop road laid out by the Narendra Modi government. And therefore someone in his advice team must have said, Mr. Gandhi, you are on vacation. So say something. Respond,
the Congress is claiming that this road wasn't built now. Please show us the tender. This road was built. According to them, the roads were as good in 2012. They say BJP is showing one road which was bad, but there were roads which were built even in 2012 in Ladakh, which the Congress claims happened during the UPA time.
Of course, if we have to go by the Congress standard, then everything good in this country ended in 2014 and everything bad started in 2014. But the people of India don't believe so. That's why they gave Narendra Modi ji a clear mandate in 2014 and then again in 2019. So are you saying that people vote for actually having bad infrastructure, not getting food grains free of cost, not getting free bank accounts to 50 crore people, not having India move from the 10th spot to the 5th spot and now moving to the 3rd spot as an economy, etc., etc.? I can go on things after things. So I still hold true that Mr. Gandhi was on a personal trip and he's entitled to be on a personal trip. And then somebody told him, speak on Ladakh. But in pointing one finger in front, he ended up pointing three onto himself. What a beautiful irony. He is in Ladakh, so the first question is, Aksai Chin, 37,000 kilometers lost in the 1962 war by Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru. And he said not a blade of grass grows there. What happened to Demchok? What happened to the demolishing of everything? 250 square kilometers gone. So why is it on China that Mr. Rahul Gandhi, and specifically Mr. Rahul Gandhi and his family, always go soft vis-a-vis India? They will never believe the army. They will go and meet the Chinese ambassador secretly when Doklam is happening. They will question the army that, oh, surgical strikes didn't take place. They will question the Air Force, give us proof for Balakot. So, I mean, why is it that they always do this? I think there is something to be asked of Mr. Rahul Gandhi, and the BJP is in its rights to ask these questions to him. Okay. He can't be the only one, like a news anchor, starting with a question a day. Some he should answer.
Okay, that's a pot shot at a news anchor. I'll live with it. But Salman Soz, you should respond to Nalin Kohli, because according to the BJP, the Congress must...
1 minute, no.
No.
I've been an anchor myself. Sure. It's not a pot shot. That is your job.
Okay. My job is to ask questions of all, and to you, Salman Soz, is simply this: that when Rahul Gandhi starts raising questions about the Modi government will also raise questions over the Congress's track record when they were in power, when it came to Chinese and border incidents, whether it was in Depsang, whether it was in Demchok. Many of these happened when the UPA was in power. We can even go back to 62, but let's talk of more recent events. And the fact is that these are sensitive issues. How many patrol points are with the Chinese and how many patrol points have India captured are questions that are best decided and discussed behind four doors with the generals, with those who are in the know, is what is being suggested by the BJP. This is not some public debate to be had on national security.
National security, Rajdeep, is an issue of great and grave public importance. So I reject Nalin's contention, or anybody else's, that we should not be discussing issues of national security. We must, because normally it
But they must be discussed on hard facts. They must be discussed on hard facts, not speculation. National security is too important to be discussing on what you've heard. They need to be discussed on hard facts.
Rajdeep, under this government, there is no transparency whatsoever. When the Prime Minister says that not an inch of land has been intruded upon, he's clearly misleading the country, and we have to call him out. Now, let me tell you that what Rahul Gandhi said is not something that he's saying of his own volition. He's talking to the people of Ladakh, and what he has found is what he's reporting. And by the way, what is he saying? He's not saying anything new. Let me take you to some media reports from 2020, where nomadic tribes such as the Changpas who live in Ladakh, they come from villages like Demchok and Chumur. What did they say? They said that they have lost access to grazing lands, which were already shrinking since the conflict intensified in 2020. And I'll give you a quote from a person from Ladakh. This is not Rahul Gandhi. This is a Ladakhi. Today, we cannot go to our pasture lands in Domshel. In the past, we traveled beyond the disputed Demchok sector for cattle grazing. As of today, China deprives us of access to grazing land in Domshel and areas such as Kigunar, which are now under Chinese control. This is not Rahul Gandhi saying. These are local people. Now, let me ask you, Rajdeep, is it not true that there was a senior police officer at the Director General's of Police conference? The report was published where it was stated that 26 out of 65 patrolling points in eastern Ladakh, Indian soldiers were not allowed to patrol there. Now, if there is no problem whatsoever, then what are all these rounds of, this is the 19th round of talks is just finished. Why are we talking? What for? By the way, the army chief was quoted.
Okay.
In May 2022, he said that our aim is to restore status quo ante.
Yes, but the point is that many of these disputes do predate 2014. Let me get General Kulkarni in specifically on the grazing lands, which has become such a big issue in and around the lake in Ladakh. Is it true that these grazing lands were earlier accessible to Ladakhi Indian herdsmen and now are not available to them? Is that true, that there are patrolling points that we've lost in the last couple of years that we are not willing to admit to? Is there truth to that, and should the government come clean on that, General Kulkarni?
Thank you, Rajdeep. I will only tell you what I know about it on the ground. First and foremost, as regards the grazing grounds are concerned, they're very much there with us, because as regards the grazing ground is concerned, if they're talking about way back history that they're talking about, then of course we've lost a lot of it before in around 1962 and subsequently. But if they're referring to unnecessarily wanting to target somebody, then it would be incorrect to say that from 2014 onwards that we've lost grazing ground. No, we have not lost grazing ground. Secondly, as regards the grazing ground of reference to Chumar, Demchok, Depsa, definitely no. First and foremost, there aren't many over there. But even in the context of Chumar is concerned, it's definitely no. I've walked over that area even as the chief of staff, and I can tell you with certainty, definitely big no. Now, as regards the patrolling points are concerned, now since the LAC is there, the borders are delineated and demarcated, and the perceptions are as what it is, definitely certain patrolling points, the Chinese aren't permitting India to do patrolling. That is why the talks are going on. The talks are on to ensure that the 93, 96, 2000, all subsequent agreements are in place.
But have we lost specific petrol points post 2020? Is that true? Is the government of India being economical with the truth when the Prime Minister says not a single inch of land has been lost?
See, Rajdeep, what happens is, now for instance, let's say, yes, they were patrolling up to finger 8. They aren't patrolling up to finger 8 now. They were also coming up to finger 4. They are not coming to finger 4 either. So at Galwan, similarly, at Hot Spring, Gogar, similarly. So certain points where a bit of buffer zones have been created to ensure that the troops from both sides don't clash and don't get onto boxing bout. It is with that point of view. If you say that, yes, the patrol points are not being patrolled, obviously they are not being gone there because neither are they coming, nor are we going. So there's a gap, say about a kilometer and a half, to ensure that the two troops don't meet so that there's peace and tranquility maintained. Yes, this part of Depsang and Demchok is concerned. Definitely, the talks are on only with that purpose that there are certain patrolling points. We must be allowed to go to those patrol. Not that we can't do, but we don't want to box around and have a brawls over there between the two armies. It is in that context. But to say that we have lost ground, we have lost territory, I think it is best that these things are ongoing. It's as a historical baggage. And since the historical legacy is there, it takes time to ensure that these things are resolved. To talk so much in public and to be, showing somebody in poor light, I think that is not what is called for. It is best to keep quiet on these issues and not that we have lost.
So let Salman Soz respond to what you said. You heard General Kulkarni saying that, look, these are complex issues. These are not something that has happened only in the last couple of years. It's been building up over time. There are contentious claims to some of the land area across the line of actual control. Allow the generals to work this out. There are other issues on which you can get the Modi government. Is this the issue that you want to get the Modi government? That we've got to find some way to bash Mr. Modi. The latest one that we've decided in Ladakh is that you've given up grazing land.
Look, Rajdeep, the BJP is the first political party in the country which spares no effort when it comes to tarnishing the memory of India's freedom fighting first Prime Minister. Every time there is nothing but abuse for Pandit Nehru from this political party, right? Nothing but abuse. They have no respect for those who fought for their freedom. They're so shameless. So the point is, when it comes to this government, as far as the soldiers are concerned, our soldiers are fighting. They've just been restrained. The political party that runs this country is basically throwing our soldiers under the bus by saying, the Prime Minister, when he was candidate Modi, not Prime Minister, he said, "Hum Cheen ko laal aankh dikha denge." What has happened under his rule? What has happened is that there are reports across media in India and abroad that territory has been lost, and it is unfortunate. But that is what the media has reported. If people in Ladakh are saying that their grazing lands they've lost access, I don't know. They're saying it. We have to trust our people.
Okay.
Now, one more thing, Rajdeep, please.
Very quickly.
If the army chief is saying that we must restore status quo ante as of May 2020, what is that status quo ante?
Yes,
why does the government not tell us what that status quo ante is?
Okay.
And what are they trying to restore?
This was also said in 2012 during Depsang.
And by the way, this Lalang business, what has it gotten us?
Can I come in for a minute, Rajdeep?
Salman Soz, you must allow Nalin Kohli now to respond. Nalin Kohli, please respond. That there should be clarity. Okay. The government should come clean on certain specifics.
I have two things to say. No, let's leave for a moment. Let's not, I can understand the discomfort of Salman and the Congress party when we point out to Aksai Chin and the other facts of the period of the great Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru, our first Prime Minister. But let's come back to the present. And let's now for a minute stop. So Mr. Rahul Gandhi says the grazing lands are gone because I've heard it. Now basic geography, and I've been to Ladakh, it's a high altitude desert. The average peak heights go up to 20,000 feet. I don't know what geography does he refer to, that at the top of the peaks you have grazing land. That's where the posts are. The grazing lands are in the valleys, obviously where the river Indus flows or another water body would be there. Where are the Chinese come into the valleys? So I think this is a basic geography question. This is hearsay. Somebody picks up and says something and then Mr. Rahul Gandhi makes it the gospel truth to come in the media. Now let me go to Dem Chowk. Salman on this program is going on saying Dem Chowk it didn't. Dem Chowk happened in your time, 2012. And you are pointing to media reports of 2012, which is what I've been saying also, that Dem Chowk happened under your rule when the UPA Congress was there. So thank you for pointing that out. This you need to give to Mr. Gandhi, not tell me. So that Mr. Gandhi does not the next time pick up a report dated to the period when they were in power and use it against the BJP.
Okay.
Nalin, these reports are from 2022. These are not from 2012 or 2010. These are new reports. You have to take responsibility.
But the problem started...
You just referred to Dem Chowk.
The problem started more than a decade ago. It continues.
What happens under your rule, you must take responsibility.
And by the way, with due respect, Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru says not a grass grows in Ladakh or that area, and you talk about grazing lands going. Can you build at least a narrative that is based on logic and geography?
Nalin, I'm asking you a very simple question.
I'm also asking you a simple question. I learned this in class 8.
When the army chief...
Gentlemen, I've heard the two politicians. Let's put the one. General, I'll give you 1 minute to answer that basic question on status quo ante. When the Prime Minister of the country, General Kulkarni, says status quo ante must be restored, or the general, the army says status quo ante, what are they specifically referring to? Given that the fact that the line of actual control is such that it has, different interpretations from the two sides, do you have a clear interpretation? Is that a recognition of the fact that there are these disputed areas that are not in our control? Isn't that the obvious interpretation of what the general says?
See, definitely, Rajdeep, there are certain areas where patrolling was being restricted by the Chinese, and that is why this dispute took place. The status quo ante means wherever and whatsoever was happening as on the last week of April 2020, the same thing should be restored. That means all of it, and in that context, the disengagements that have taken place at Pangangso, the disengagements which have taken place at Gogra, Hot Spring, and at Galwan are indicative that the status quo ante is still. Status quo ante means the patrolling also should be allowed. It is taking time for it to come. And secondly,
let me leave it there. General, I've run out of time. I take your points. I'm sorry that we had to cut you short there, but clearly these are complicated issues, and in an ideal world, these should be discussed by both sides. The opposition taken into confidence by the government and discussed in the various standing committees on defense and other issues. Unfortunately, they are playing out now as a public fight. Lack of transparency on one side and possibly shooting of the hip on the other. Let's turn from there to the other story of the day that we want to track. The Deputy Director of Delhi's Women and Child Development Panel is in police custody for raping a minor over several months. The senior bureaucrat had taken the minor girl in his care after her father passed away. When the minor got pregnant, the bureaucrat's wife gave her abortion pills. Shockingly, the Delhi Commission of Women claims that it had no idea about this till today. We'll meet Swati Maliwal in a moment, but first the story.
Premode Khaka, Deputy Director of Women and Child Welfare Department in Delhi government, tasked to safeguard women and kids in the national capital. This protector turned predator raped and impregnated a 14-year-old girl in his custody. While shockingly, his wife gave abortion pills to the teen. After India Today's report, the husband-wife duo has been taken into custody.
आज हमने 164 का बयान लिया है और उसके बाद हमने 2 लोगों को अभी अरेस्ट किया है। एक हैं श्री प्रमोद खाका, 51 साल उम्र है, बुराड़ी के रहने वाले हैं और ये डिपार्टमेंट ऑफ वुमेन एंड चाइल्ड डेवलपमेंट में डिप्टी डायरेक्टर की पोस्ट पे है। सेकंड इनकी वाइफ हैं, सीमा रानी उनका नाम है, 50 साल उम्र है और शी इज अ हाउसवाइफ।
The minor survivor was living with the accused after her father's death in 2020. After the bureaucrat met her at a Delhi church and convinced her mother that he will be guardian to the child.
किसका सस्पेंशन होना है, किसकी गिरफ्तारी होनी है? इस पूरे मामले में एक बच्ची को उसकी बायोलॉजिकल मदर से छीनकर किसी दूसरे व्यक्ति को दिया गया और उस व्यक्ति ने बच्ची को रेप किया। तो इसमें जिस अधिकारी की कोताही है उन सब पर मुकदमा दर्ज किया जाना।
The heinous crime by a top Delhi government official answerable to Delhi Minister Atishi and DCW Chief Swati Maliwal sparked a massive storm. Facing political attacks over inaction and hypocrisy over child rape.
We have issued a notice to the Delhi police. We are also issuing a notice to the government because we wish to understand. One is, of course, this means a person needs to be suspended, which the government has already done. But at the same time, we wish to understand as to where all was he posted in his 20 or plus years of service, and what all sensitive posts did he handle, and what kind of complaints were received against him during this process.
The opposition BJP tore into the arc.
दिल्ली की जनता जो उनसे एक्सपेक्ट करती है कि दिल्ली सरकार उनके अधिकारों का हनन नहीं करेगी, दिल्ली सरकार का एक वरिष्ठ अधिकारी ये करता रहा एक बच्ची के साथ और उनको जानकारी नहीं थी, और जानकारी थी तो क्या कार्रवाई की।
डीसीडब्ल्यू की चेयरमैन तो जहां भी कोई घटना होती है हर जगह आंसू बहाने पहुंच जाती हैं, लेकिन उनके ऑफिस के अंदर अगर ये घटना हो रही है और वो 1-1.5 साल से, जो मुझे सुनने में आया 1-1.5 साल से ये घटना हो रही थी और ऐसे किया जा रहा था, तो उनको नॉलेज नहीं है, तो समझ में नहीं आई मुझे तो।
After political attacks and widespread outrage, Chief Minister Kejriwal suspended the accused rapist.
उसको मैंने आदेश दिए हैं चीफ सेक्रेटरी को कि उसको सस्पेंड किया जाए तुरंत प्रभाव से, जब तक इंक्वायरी वगैरह चल रही हैं, और शाम 5 बजे तक मैंने इसके ऊपर एक विस्तृत रिपोर्ट मांगी। मैं पुलिस से वो करूंगा, अपील करूंगा कि उसको तुरंत गिरफ्तार किया जाए।
Has the capital shocker exposed the AAP government bigwigs who go about preaching on rape when it comes to crimes in other states? With Arvind Ojha and Rahul Gautam in Delhi, Bureau Report, India Today.
Joining me now is Swati Maliwal, Chairperson, Delhi Commission for Women. Swati Maliwal, the opposition is using this to suggest that the Aam Aadmi Party government, which otherwise attacks the BJP whenever there are crimes against women, now is on the back foot. Why didn't the DCW know more earlier is the principal charge they are making. Was there an attempt made to protect this official, this bureaucrat?
So first and foremost, I just want to ask that why is it that your channel has been spreading this false lies right since morning that this particular officer was a part of the Delhi Commission for Women? On your esteemed channel, this message is being circulated again and again that he was a team member. How is he a team member of the Delhi Commission for Women?
Was he a deputy director in the Women's and Child Development Department?
And Child Development Ministry. Yes, he is. But he's not a member, he's not a team member, he has never been appointed in the Delhi Commission for Women. I don't know him, nobody knows him. So it is first and foremost, I think that this kind of a lie from such an esteemed channel should not be propagated, and all such politicians who are spreading this false information, because it is very damaging for the Commission. The Commission is functioning against rapists. How can a channel completely spread this false lie that this rapist was actually a part of the Delhi Commission for Women? First and foremost, I want to just put my objection at that. Now the second question.
He was a senior officer in the Department of Women and Child Development.
The Delhi Police. Yes, but it's not the Delhi Commission for Women. I hope you understand. You are an educated person. You would understand that there is a difference between an autonomous body called the Delhi Commission for Women and the Women and Child Development Ministry, which comes under the Delhi government. So there is a distinction, and it is a very clear distinction, and it's very unfortunate that your channel has been blatantly spreading this lie right from morning that he's my team member. If he's my team member, why am I sitting outside the hospital right now desperately trying to help the survivor? That's one point. The other thing, sir, is that I've issued notices to the Delhi police. I've also issued notices to the Delhi government because I think it's very important to find out where all was he posted and whether any previous complaint has come against him and what action was taken on that complaint. So we've launched an inquiry in the matter. Now I wanted to meet the survivor because that is my statutory duty. When I came here in the hospital at 11 a.m., since then till now I have not been allowed to meet the survivor by the Delhi police. So I fail to understand that in a case, an FIR gets registered, the Delhi police does not make any arrests for 8 days, and after that when the Delhi Commission for Women gets to know about the case and wants to meet the survivor, is not allowing me to meet the survivor. So it raises a lot of apprehensions in my mind that what is it that the Delhi police is trying to hide? Why can't the Delhi Commission for Women chairperson meet the survivor and do her statutory role?
But the fact, Swati Maliwal, is that while you are making this distinction, saying he's an officer of the Women and Child Development and not the Delhi Commission of Women, the truth also is that here is someone who is a senior officer with the government department, the government controlled by the Aam Aadmi Party, and the charge that which is being made now by the opposition is that there was an attempt being made to protect him. Have you seen any evidence that there was an attempt being made to protect this officer, that the Delhi police or indeed government officials in some way were trying to protect him at any time?
So there are two things. First, that there are these politicians from the ruling party who are going on saying that he was in my office, he was my team member, and I completely object to it. I have nothing to do with him. And the Delhi Commission for Women is very much an autonomous body which is not ruled and it is not comes under any department or any government. That is one and first and foremost. The other thing is I want to meet the survivor exactly for this, because I want to understand why is it that the Delhi police did not make arrests in a case in which a FIR under POCSO section has been registered for so many days. Was there any pressure on the survivor? Is there any pressure on the survivor? Because if something like that is, my role is to strengthen her voice. That is exactly what I'm trying to do. It is very easy for me. I came in the morning, the Delhi police told me, let's go away. I could have gone back, but I've been sitting here for the past 9 hours just wanting to meet the survivor because I think that she has made very, very serious allegations against somebody very powerful. This man has clout, clearly, because the Delhi police failed to arrest him for so many days. Now, who is protecting this particular person? Why is it that the Delhi police has not arrested him for so many days? Is the question that even I'm trying to answer and ask. For that, I need to meet the survivor and I need to understand what is the sequence of events. When did she reveal it?
Why are you being not allowed? What is the argument being given to you that you're not being allowed to meet the survivor?
There is no argument. The Delhi police is so shameless that since the morning 11 o'clock a.m. I've been sitting here and they have not even bothered to tell me why is it that they have instructed the hospital authorities not to allow me inside. I'm trying to do my job. Instead of helping me, Delhi police is obstructing my statutory work and the world is questioning me, why am I not doing my job when I'm wanting to do my job? For the past 9.5 hours I've been sitting here. Delhi police is shameless enough not to arrest this rapist. Immediately the FIR is registered and now they are acting in complete like goons. Why is it that they are not making me meet the survivor? What is it that they have to hide? What is it that the survivor will reveal to me? I'm scared for her life. Right now, no other authority has met this survivor. Only the Delhi police is meeting the survivor. So why is it that the Delhi police does not want the Delhi Commission for Women, which is a statutory body made purposely for this purpose, to meet the survivor? It's really shameful on the part of the Delhi police.
Let me leave it there, Swati Maliwal. We'll wait and see what action really is taken by the Delhi police. They've arrested the concerned individual. We'll wait and see what other steps are now taken and whether you are allowed to meet the survivor. Was anyone trying to protect this officer? I appreciate you joining me to give us your perspective. Let me turn to another member of parliament and of course actor who is in trouble for various reasons. Sunny Deol's Gadar 2 is roaring at the box office, but the actor is in the news also for the wrong reasons. He was heavily criticized for his negligent approach towards his constituency of Gurdaspur in Punjab. Now a fresh row over a bank notice issued for his villa at Juhu has triggered a controversy. Take a look.
His captivating on-screen heroics. But it's not all roses for Sunny Deol in real life. Back in his parliamentary constituency in Punjab, residents seen battling heavy floods on their own. If that wasn't enough, the 2.5 kilo ka haath actor seen caught in a financial whirlpool on Sunday. Bank of Baroda issued this auction notice for Sunny Deol's ocean-facing villa at Juhu in Mumbai. A 5-storied property spread over 6,000 square meters. The Bank of Baroda announced the sale of the star's estate for non-payment of a loan worth 56 crore rupees. The notice set September the 25th for the proposed auction. Like in suspense thrillers, an unpredictable script followed the next day, with Bank of Baroda suddenly and mysteriously withdrawing the auction notice, claiming that there was a technical glitch. But what technical glitch are they talking about? How could a formal auction notice printed in newspapers suddenly be pulled and blamed on a technical glitch, that too by a well-known bank? The Congress has stepped in with a pinch of political sarcasm. Party spokesperson Jairam Ramesh wondered who triggered those mysterious technical reasons for the bank to withdraw the proposed auction. The bank later explained that the borrower has approached it and pledged to clear dues. With Deepesh Tripathi in Mumbai, Bureau Report, India Today.
Let's leave you though with an image of the day, which is again something which is good news, because history created in the Indian chess world, Indian sporting world in Baku. Our Pragnananda, at the age of 18, has reached the final of the Chess World Cup. The sensational teenager has defeated Fabiano Caruana to set up a summit clash now with world number 1 Magnus Carlsen. He becomes the youngest to ever reach the finals of this tournament, the summit clash. Pragyanan, who's really become a kind of iconic face now in world chess, taking on the legacy of Vishwanathan Anand and taking it further. We wish him well. Great news coming in from the world of chess, the second Indian after Anand to reach the finals of the World Chess Championship. We wish him well, and that's a good note to end on tonight. Good night, goodbye. Jai Hind, Shubhratri, Namaskar.